Hmm. Well, hello, folks. Hello, folks. Hope you guys are doing very well on Sunday at 12:30. I'm trying to get this done, or at least recorded before football starts. So I have about half an hour. I don't think this will take that long, but I've been known to ramble from time to time, and I don't really have a good outline of how this will go. So a lot of it may be just sort of stream of consciousness, whatever comes to my head at the time of me speaking, which could be bad or a good thing. Um, so yeah, a lot has transpired in the past. What was it, about a week or so, right? Ish. Um, and so with that, I think I don't know about many of you guys, but a lot of the streamers of the game, and then people that actually just they don't stream the game, but they watch it on Twitch or what have you. It's been a pretty active community for the past week in some of the streaming channels. I think it's been more engagement and more conversing in the past week than it has maybe been in the past, I don't know, month and a half combined. So that's a good thing. People are still talking and active about the game because I think I've said it many times and the numbers don't lie. I'm not going to show them here again, but the more active the better, because this game as a whole is way less active at this point in its life cycle than 2K23. I'm not making that up. That's easily extrapolated from the metrics that's online, and also just from the general community events and discords and whatever else. It's just not as active. We can argue about the reasons why later on if we want. Who knows? But that's just a statement of fact. So sort of what this is going to be is, maybe it's my own idea of I'm really important, my ego. But I'll say, let's call this like a State of the Union regarding where the game is right now in its current status, where it could be, some what I'm going to be doing moving forward, and just let's say maybe a recap of what's transpired, and what may be the best outcome the best outcome that could come of what's been brought to light. First, excuse me. Yeah, like so. Make no mistake about it. Those videos, the G7 video and the PC Steam controller videos, they were not meant to expose anybody or insinuate anything or any of that. It was more or less to put the information out there, and then maybe even, I guess, unbeknownst to me, maybe spark some conversation about what does this mean for the competitive side. Not insinuating anything, not calling anybody anything, because we'll get into it in a little bit. But the current state of the union, the state of the game, it's all subjective, right? What you can and can't do, and how much you can and can't do. It's all subjective, and that's where it gets gray. Where my opinion on the matter is different than many of yours, and vice versa. It's all subjective, and especially because if you do PC and Steam, there are so many different controllers out there that each controller can have settings that are different from the other. It'd be nearly impossible to have specific regulated guidelines for each controller. It's not just the G7. So for any of the small brainers out there, or the smooth brains that's like, oh, it's the G7. The G7 is not the problem. It's just one of the controllers you can do that to. It just so happens it's probably the most popular, I guess. So without any cold hard line of you can do this and this and this on this controller, that controller, and that controller, but not this controller, but you can on that controller, it's impossible. It would be impossible. So all of the rules and regulations are somewhat self-imposed on yourself, right? Or they're self-imposed by the group you're playing with. Hold on, I think I might be a little bit blurry. Let me see. Am I a little bit, or was I a little bit blurry? Ah, whatever. So how do you regulate that? I don't know. And does it need to be regulated? Or is it just a simple fact or a simple matter of regulate yourselves? I think that's probably the best answer, is regulate yourselves. Because there's no way that Big Brother, big company, can get down in the weeds of each little thing. So I think my opinion is the best. Sorry, what was that? Something on my desk. The best thing that can be done at this point, at this juncture, is regulate yourselves. Now, yourselves could be just your own individual person, or it could be whatever group of buddies you play with, or whatever society you're in or you play with. But even then, it's all going to be pretty much on the honor code. It's all going to be honor code. I won't say the problem, but the issue that is very hard, or that makes it very hard for, I'll just say because I'm more familiar with it, I don't know what 2K has in behind the scenes to do this kind of stuff. I don't know. But with TGC, which you can downplay TGC or not, TGC right now is the one thing keeping the game going. That's it. Like, it has about 1,500 people playing every week. And I would say, I can pull it up if you don't believe me, but there's only a couple hundred people that play every night on Steam. And so you just kind of triple that for people on Xbox and PlayStation. So let's call it 1,000. You know, on Thursday at 7 p.m., I would bet anything there's 1,000 people, maybe a little less. I could be wrong. I don't think I am, because it's only a couple hundred on Steam. And typically the metrics are you triple that number on Steam. Usually. Might be a little different, like for big games, but like something like this, a niche game, let's call it, you triple it. So either way, whether it's 1,000 or whether it's 1,500 or whatever, if you take away the TGC crowd, because keep in mind those are a part of that number every night that play. You take away the TGC crowd, where do the numbers go? Straight tank. So you can diminish it all you want, but right now, it's sort of the lifeline, in my opinion. Anyway, I digress. TGC has a software that can detect anomalies and foul play, let's call it. Why am I kind of blurry? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Sorry, if I feel a little, or if I look a little blurry, I apologize. They have a program that can read things, that can detect anomalies and, let's say maybe non-human input. It can do that because it was on 23 a vertical swing with the timing. And if your vertical swing had very, very little deviations from vertical too many times, I don't know what too many was, that's something that they know internally and won't share, which is fine. But if your swing was too perfect too many times, you were flagged. The timing was never, I don't think the timing was never a metric they measured, because it was always a human input that changed. The but the actual vertical swing, they could flag that, and if it was suspect, they would just not count your scores for that week, and people got popped, and it was not an insinuation of cheating. It was just maybe they were really, really accurate that day, or they were swinging well. I mean, it happens, but about, I don't know, once every 2 or 3 weeks, someone would be popped, and it wasn't a big deal. It was just, their scores wouldn't count that week, and there were more, I'm sure, that were out there, but we just didn't know. They weren't in our circle. Again, not a big deal. With this game, because it's at an angle, and the line doesn't affect, the internal line doesn't affect what your ball flight does, and because you're swinging either at a let's say, a draw bias for the draw, or on a flop, for me, it's, back to a fade bias, or you're on a side hill line, that bias, you're always moving the goalposts. So it's nearly impossible for TGC to have something that's reliable and repetitive to be like, hey, something's fishy. Plus, the perfects are they are variable as well. My power drive perfect is smaller than my choked approach or my choked tee shot. So you can't just go off of, well, you're hitting perfects too many times. So you can't do that either. So anyway, all that being, it puts a handcuff on them, and it's not their fault. It's just the way this swing is designed. So because of the simplicity of the swing, with just hitting point A and point B, it lends itself now to more readily and easily tweak things in a controller or what have you that can assist in that. Therein lies the problem. Or not, it's not a problem. Therein lies the question. How much assistance is allowable, if any? And then how would you police that? Because, this right here, hold on, let me get my controller. Get this out the way. This PS5 Edge controller, right? I plug it into a PlayStation. The only thing I can really adjust that means a whole lot is my sensitivity curve, making it more or less sensitive. So if I have trouble hitting rhythm in this game, I can tweak that and make it a little bit easier. The G7, you saw hopefully you saw the video last week or whenever it was about the stuff you can do on the G7. You can do more than the PS5. I'm blurry again. Damn it. Okay. More than the PS5. So is how do you police that? And then you also have Steam. You can do. I think you could pretty much do the same thing for every controller. But I'm still learning that part. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think what it boils down to right now, and it's not right or wrong. I'm very neutral in the matter. Like some days I have an opinion on one side, the other days I have an opinion on the other side. So I'm kind of neutral. I don't want to be hard fast. Oh, it's cheating, no way. I don't want to be a hard fast also. Well, just crank the numbers up and say hell with it. It's part of the program. It's part of the controller. I mean, I don't. Anyway, I think, and it's not their fault because thankfully, the game actually sold very, very well, which is awesome. 2K needs to make money because if 2K makes money and the game is successful, and I would say this game is more successful than 2K23 just based off sales. However, it was more successful, but I think it had a much steeper fall off. But hey, at least 2K made money. Therefore, I would sense that there's going to be a 2K27, I guess, coming out, which is great. So at least they're making money and they can put out another game. I believe this game was made, and I've said it before in a couple of my YouTube videos. This game was made for the masses, not the diehards like myself, not the I would say not even the competitive guys, that play in ranked matchmaking. I think this game was made for the masses who come home from work and want to play a couple rounds of My Career. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but and just kind of chill, and they don't have to worry about calibrating timing. They just have to focus more on hitting point and point. You do that, you make a game for the masses. The masses move on quickly to the next big game that has been done. So if you compound that down the road a little bit, if the game is made for the masses, in my opinion, and to be more inclusive, to be more readily playable by just, I'll say, the general population, but just the casual guy wants to hop on and play a little bit and play well, score well, so to speak. If that's the sentiment, then these, I say new. I think the G7's been around for about 2 months. Those settings, I think, and the PC and the Steam. I don't know how long that's been a thing, but the settings that are available to help further assist the masses play even better. How would you consider that now a bad thing? I think it's a bad thing. Don't put that. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just posing a question for thought-provoking exercise here. But if the game is designed to be more easily playable by just the general public, and there's also settings that controllers have that can even further assist, more so even than what the game can provide, to help Johnny come lately hit perfects in My Career and beat Max Homa for the 9th time. I mean, would it be a bridge too far to say that's not? Would it be a bridge too far to say that is something that not they would want, but would be allowable? Hey, man, come home from work, hop on for a couple rounds before you fix dinner for your wife and kids, and beat Max Homa for the 9th time and hit perfects. Enjoy the game, because I'm not so naive to think that in 2K23, a lot of people struggled with that timing. They did, especially if you were on stock Xbox and you didn't know any better. Actually, hold on. Let me do something here. Hold on. If you're still watching this, I appreciate it, but you could where am I at? Is this it? You can fast forward it here. I want to show you something. Perfect. This is it here. Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to do this. I want to show you. Well, before I show you this, this is why I'm going to show you this. So, hold on. I'm trying to put it in words. Like I said, this is somewhat of a stream of consciousness video. I apologize, but it's some good nuggets in there. So bear with me. Right now, it plays the way they want to. Hit 2 points. Boom, boom. And Joe Casual Gamer can do that, and that, especially now with the settings. Hey, man, come home, crank up some settings, and hit perfects, or at least a majority of the time, and have a good time. That's great. I'm not knocking that whatsoever. The issue now is it's a two-sided or a two-pronged problem. You have one that are the purists, and they're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. You turn the game on, you plug the controller in, whatever controller you have, you don't change a thing, nothing. You can't change anything. If you change one thing, you're not a purist. You have altered the outcome. You have a purist who plug in the controller, you play how it plays. End of story. Yet, so you have those people who are mad about what's happening. You have, maybe it's a three-pronged problem. You have players that want to utilize the settings for, to do a little bit, to get a little bit of help because maybe the swing is a little bit finicky at the stock settings. That they just want some assistance, but they don't want to go crazy and crank it up where it's almost like aimbot. And so then it's like, well, we're doing it just a little bit, which we can still miss left, right, and center. Other people, they're probably cranking it up too much, and that's not fair. Well, I'm not saying they're wrong either. I think it's very hard to subjectively put something down though that I'm doing this and you're not, so this is fine. But I'm not saying they're wrong at all. They have a point. And the third, I think the most vocal people are the people that play on PlayStation, because those poor bastards, all they can do right now, to my knowledge, is on their controller they can adjust the sensitivity curve for rhythm. Now I have, you know what? I'll put it out there. There is an adapter. That I don't know how it works, but so you can probably Google it. There's an adapter that you can use on your PlayStation that I guess lets you play with a majority of other controllers, something like that. So like for example, you could have a G7, turn your settings to how you want through the computer, unplug it from the computer, put it into the USB adapter into your PlayStation, and now you're on a G7 on the PlayStation. There's an adapter for that. Whatever. But for the most part, for right now, you have the PlayStation people that are just pissed off because they are at a disadvantage on paper. Again, not saying someone on PlayStation can't be doing some weird stuff with an adapter or whatever. I don't know. I'm sure there's or there are Hall effect stick controllers out there. I don't have one, but I'd be curious to know if some of the other third-party controllers for PlayStation, if they have that adjustability. If not, it's very soon coming. It's very, very soon coming. Anyway, so you had the PlayStation folks that are mad because they can't do it, and they're at a disadvantage. Not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, PlayStation guys. I would be pissed too. But here's where I'm trying to be objective. It may not be the same. But it is certainly along the same spectrum. I'm gonna take you to this. Let's see if I can do this. Is it this? That's good enough. Hold on. Let me get me up here. Okay. let me do this. I'll pull it like this. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Wait. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Also, you can see here. Wait, is my mouse on this one or this one? Okay. So this is my world golf ranking graph. It's called a graph. So this is my world golf ranking graph. So I started TGC right here. Let me see it. It's October 15th, 2023. I was ranked 1500. Okay. Right through here, it's about a 3-week period. Yeah, about a 3-week period. And also, there's a little before that I never qualified. So right in this area, right through here, let's call it fall of 23. I played 2K23 on Xbox, on stock controller Xbox at 125 hertz, and I could not. I would miss the damn driving range. However, I know I'm pretty good on the sticks. I know I have pretty good dexterity and control and all that kind of stuff. But for what, I just could not play the damn game. So I quit. I was on Xbox, stock controller, quit. I said, screw this. I can't play. Fast forward a little bit, a couple weeks, I go into Cockster stream. If you don't know who Cockster is, please go to his YouTube, drop a sub or Twitch or whatever else. But I don't even know why or how I ended up on his stream. Probably just perusing who's playing golf. Anyway, I wound up on Cockster's stream. He was on PlayStation, and he was hitting just freaking frozen ropes. The blue line was really nice and tight. His timing was perfect, or just a tick fast. It was very impressive. And something, well, how in the hell is he doing that and I can't? Like, and it'd be different if I was a little bit off, but I was miles apart. So I just asked a question. Hey, how are you doing that? What's your grip? What's your swing technique? I'm on Xbox and I can't do that. So I asked questions, and fast forward. Turns out PlayStation at that time had a massive competitive advantage. Massive. I would probably say the top, I don't know, probably 50 in the world were either PlayStation or PC, because Xbox controllers just were not competitive. PlayStation was at 500 hertz controllers, Xbox was 125, and the timing was very much dependent on the hertz. It was the higher the hertz, the better that response was. So long story short, here's where it was, and it's a little bit of what it is right now. If I wanted to play and try to compete with the best, I could not be on Xbox at that time. So what did I do? I went and bought a PlayStation. I bought the game on PlayStation. I bought a Edge controller, and you can see right through here, my WGR just skyrocketed. It skyrocketed. I mean, in what? This is in 1 week, I went from let's say just over 1,000 to 650. I mean, and you can see the progression, right? I think right now I'm maybe 6th. Right now I'm 6th. But like right here is the swap from Xbox to PlayStation. Okay, so I show you that to, I think this kind of overlays into what's happening now. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not saying that's good or bad or right or wrong. But if you're on PlayStation and you're struggling, this is something you may have to consider. Unfortunately. But hey, I did it. I had to. At the end of 2023, swap from Xbox to PlayStation, and the proof is in the pudding. Right there. Xbox was not competitive. PlayStation/PC had a huge advantage, and now the tide has switched, has flipped. Now, we can say for good or bad reasons, but the reasons nonetheless. I'll go back. So I think that also is indicative of something that is going to have to be done. I think there are a few really good PlayStation players, but this is let's say for the masses. There's the key word, for the masses. If you're getting whipped up on now, you may have to swipe the card, my friend. I did back in 23. So there's a somewhat of an argument of why is it any different than what it is now. PlayStation had a huge advantage because they had better equipment at their disposal. Xbox did not. Now it's been swapped. I don't know. Again, I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, or I agree or disagree with it. I'm just telling you the statement of fact of where we're at right now. Also, and it's sort of it's our own problem. Streamers, it's really only a problem now for streamers, because we like to put our gameplay out there and whatever else, and hey, we did this on this in this tournament or whatever, and it's out there for everybody to scrutinize and critique and call into question, all of that, and the ones who don't do that, all you see is just a score on the screen. You just see a score. You don't see the narrative behind it of what happened, how he got there, was there any good swings or anything like that. So it's really only a problem right now. It's like, I'll say selfishly, for people that stream or record. That's a us problem. What does that mean? I don't know. But for anybody that's streaming or recording, anytime you play well or do anything now, there's just going to be questions. So I think for myself moving forward, I will be streaming. I will stream. My recording is going to be maybe every other. It's not going to be as much. It's just not, because quite frankly, I don't want to have to, like, every time I post a video, go over the same shit over and over and over again. But I will stream. I will stream my gameplay. But as far as the recording, I'm probably going to back off on that some, just for my own sanity. Yeah, anyway. All right, so I'll say lastly, with all this being said, I think that timing needs to be brought back into the fold. Just because that's a human input that can't be, we'll say, really fixed or assisted that much with the current settings that are available on controllers. It just can't. At least not to this degree. So I would highly encourage. Let me go back, actually. If you agree with me, if not, whatever, that's fine. I would highly encourage. Where is it at? Let's do this. I would highly encourage you guys go to the 2K.com, the actual golf game landing page, I guess. There's somewhere on here. Just poke around, but there is a place for support, and you can send in like feedback or a support ticket. Maybe you've done it already. Somewhere on that page, just poke around. There's a spot where you can send a message to the 2K team. I would highly suggest, if that's something you agree with, which I hope. If you don't, I think you're wrong, especially now. Urging them to put timing back in the swing. Not this game. This game is what it is right now. This game will not change. So I think you'd be losing your breath, wasting your breath to say, bring back timing in this game. That's not going to happen. But in the next game, maybe so. So I would suggest, if you do agree with having timing back in the game, or just put a difficulty toggle. Have timing on or off. That way societies can have timing on or timing off. And Joe Sixpack coming back from work, when he sits down, if he wants to play My Career mode, he can turn it off or on and play how he wants to play. If this swing is the same in 2K27, I think it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a bad day for a lot of people in the competitive scene, and yeah, it wouldn't be good. That's just my opinion. I don't know, whatever. But I would encourage you guys to go to that 2K site and just send in some constructive feedback about, hey, we think we need timing back in the play, and these are the reasons why. Just make sure it's constructive if you do it. Oops. This. Okay. And yeah, so now let's wrap it up because I've been rambling too much. Right now, honestly, I think it's play how you want to play. It's play how you want to play. Anything that is said otherwise, as in, well, you should be playing this and not this, I think it's all subjective, man. I really do. It's subjective, because who are you to say what someone else can and can't do that's not against the rules? Right? I mean, and again, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just the way of the world right now. So I think any type of play is going to have to be just self-governance and somewhat of the honor system, in my opinion. Now I cannot speak for 2K. I can't speak for them at all. That's fine. But for the likes of TGC, I can only speak probably for the plat guys and some of the elite guys, and I would assume it would probably trickle down a little bit, but I can't speak for the CC guys. I don't know. But if TGC was like, hey, these are our guidelines, we can't police them because of the swing metrics that we have access to, but sort of you're on your honor. I think at least most of my friends and most of our inner circle and most of the plat guys and elite guys would abide by that. Will there be some bad apples? Yes, but I think it would go a long way. But the hard part is, well, what is that? What are the rules? That's a very difficult question to answer. So yeah, right now I think play how you want to play. It's all subjective. Have fun. Don't take it too seriously, because this game's competitive side was not taken that seriously. It was made to be easier, and I think that's the way you should play. And I will say too, this might be a little bit of a harken back on something, but I have heard people say, well, if the game is so easy, why are you making it easier? I don't think that's a fair question. Because you're always, people by and large, again, not right or wrong, want the path of least resistance. You have to put limits on people. Like, you could say, you could drive down the interstate and say, hey, the speed limit's 50 or 65, but just not post anything, right? But people will still go faster. People they do now. The speed limit could be 70 miles an hour, and people drive 85. Why? Because more often than not, you're not getting pulled over. Cops don't want to deal with it. Everybody else is doing it. I got to keep up with traffic. So even when you put those type of limits on people will still they want to make their lives easier, get there faster, make it, all that stuff. So I just don't think it's not a fair question to say, if the game is so easy, why are you making it easier? Well, then if that's the case, we'll make the game harder, right? Like you have to restrict me as a player, just a general player. You have to restrict me from making it easy. I mean, people as a whole are greedy. They want easy stuff. They want it easy, fast now. and I think there's also a thing about like the grip. Like, you know, if the game is so easy, like why are you swinging like with two thumbs or a pinch? Why not just go to one thumb? That's a weird. I don't know. It's a weird thing to say. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to respond to that. You know, why is your swing method better than my swing method or someone else's swing method? I want to swing two thumb because it's easier to hit points. If you wanna slap it around doing one thumb or a weird pinch, go ahead. But you're not gonna get any type of like moral credibility because you swing with one thumb as opposed to a pinch or I don't know. To me, that's an unfair thing to say. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good response to that. It's just kind of strange. Um, Again, you know, I'm not saying this person or these people are wrong to say that, but I think there's a lot more nuance to it than just that. But yeah, anyway, so play, for me, play how you want to play. If you want to crank your settings up to whatever setting to make it much easier to hit points and be more consistent, okay. I mean, enjoy the game. Enjoy the game. I'm not gonna disparage that whatsoever because you know what? You're not breaking any rules. To my knowledge, you're not breaking any rules. So do what you want. Okay, have fun. And then for me, um, for me, so I have swapped to PC, and the reasons are somewhat of a quality of life issue. So I travel a lot for work. If you've seen any of my videos, I kind of go into this. I have to play this all this weekend because I'm traveling for work or whatever. I'm tired of lugging around my Xbox and or my PlayStation in my suitcase to my hotels. So for quality of life purposes, I'm just going to get a gaming laptop and put it in my bag. And it would be so much easier to travel with and play games in the hotel on my laptop as opposed to my console or consoles. Also, I'm going to be taking a step back from playing, you know, at the clip I was. Although I wasn't playing that much. I was not playing as much as I was in 23. But I'll be playing Plat. I'll be playing Happy Tea Friends. For the most part, that's probably going to be about it. What I'm going to do now, what I'm going to lean more heavily into is, I think, something of what the community really needs right now. Not saying I'm going to be great at it, but I will be great at it. I'm not great at it now, but I will be great at it soon-ish. I'm going to lean pretty heavily into course design. That's going to be my focus for a while. I'm still going to play. I'm still going to try and compete and win and whatever else. You know, I'll stream. I might even stream some course design stuff. But especially now that I'm on PC and I can do some stuff with course design on PC, like flyovers and things. That to me, that's the selling point for me to be on PC. The course designer is very nice on PC. I can do a lot of things that I can't do on console. So that's it. I'm not even sure what the point of this video was. It started off as a State of the Union, then it was a ramble, and then it just divulged or just took a pivot somewhere else. But whatever. That's everything. That's all I got. That's probably the last time publicly I'm gonna address this stuff. As you can talk about it till you're blue in the face and beat the dead horse 14 times, and it's still gonna be the same conversation over and over and over again. So that's where I stand on it. That's where I stand on it. Do what you want. There's no one to tell you anything otherwise. If someone says you can't do that, that's just their subjective thinking. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying there's nothing the other person can do or say about it, and vice versa. If you're on PlayStation right now in the middle of the pack getting blitzed by Xbox and PC players, hey, I showed you the graph. Go to Best Buy, swipe the card, buy an Xbox, buy a PC, and then do it yourself. Because right now this is the steroid era of baseball in 2K25, in 2K golf. This is the steroid era. You either do it or you're probably going to get left behind. It's probably not right, but you're not testing for it. So, and then also too, I think if somehow this is tested for, quote unquote, tested for, I don't think it's bannable. At least on TGC side, because there's no rules, there's no hard rules about it. I don't know. It's just in a weird spot. It's just weird. This is weird. But yeah, if you're PlayStation and you're getting blitzed down in CC or on ranked, if you care about ranked, go to Best Buy, swipe the card. I did it in 23. Sometimes you got to. Hey, you're outgunned and outmatched. So I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. Not saying I agree with it, not saying I disagree with it. It's just the way of the world. So that concludes the Revan State of the Union address and kind of what my plans are going forward for at least the foreseeable future, or at least for the short and midterm. I'm curious to see what happens with this game in the next probably 2 or 3 months. I'll be curious. Hopefully good things, or hopefully we get some answers back from some other people. But anyway, all right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching. And I'm only I'm 100 subscribers away, just over 100 subscribers away on YouTube from being monetized. That's pretty cool. So if you're not already subscribed, this is me begging you, please subscribe. It's free. All right. See you guys.